Peace. This is White Raptor News. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, our Creator, who is one God, the omnipotent force that moves all things in place, the all you can see, the all you cannot see, the mighty, the almighty, the all. There is none like him, the supreme, the creator of the heavens and the earth. Okay, we're going to jump on into Leviticus 20 here. As we get further into the Bible, you're going to start noticing discrepancies. I was just going back this morning and reading a little bit about the Bible story and Babylon. And if you guys go to chapter 10, it talks about Shem's bloodline. And these are the languages, and it places an S on the end of languages. And then the very first parable in Genesis 11 talks about there only being one language. So you can't have Genesis 10 saying that they're the languages with an S. Go read it yourself. Here, I'll pull it up myself. Right here. These are the sons of Shem by their clans and languages. Hold on. Here. The languages. Feminine. Ishonah from Lashon. The tongue, and literally, used literally and figuratively. So these are the sons Shem's according to the clan's languages. So remember, this is just coming off of the ark, man. We're only 4 chapters into the Noah and them coming off of the ark. Okay? And a lot of 7, 8, and 9 are just the bloodlines talking to you about the bloodlines and everybody who's being born. It doesn't really go into how we got into the languages. Remember, 8 family members got on the ark. Okay? 8. That's what we're told. Which is, I don't believe so. I don't believe that 8 people could have fed 3 million animals back then. There's far more animals back then than there are today. We've literally probably erased 50,000 species of animals off the face of this earth. Mankind has. And that's something to be pretty freaking shameful about, man. Okay, so you can't have that going on. Give me 1 second. Where are we at? So the Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, any Israelite or any foreigner residing in Israel who sacrifices any of his children to Moloch is to be put to death. Okay? So this is the god Moloch. A piece of metal. These nutbags here bowing down to this, sacrificing their children. Who would do that? What any race at all would sacrifice a child to a burning frickin' thing? Come on. Did we really come from that? Is any of it even real? I mean, this is what we're told. It's what's written in the Bible. Just hearing it sounds like... I just couldn't imagine it. I just can't fathom the thought that people would gather around like this and somebody would say, yeah, sure, I'll give my child up to Moloch, if it'll grant me favor in this life here. Ooh, look at here. This guy almost looks like one of my friends that I listen to on YouTube, man. Malik the God. I've never listened to this guy. I'm not endorsing him or anything else. But he might have, I'm not saying that it is parental advisory explicit content. Wow, maybe I should go check him out and see what he has to say. I think I will, if he's on YouTube, unless he's a rapper or something. So this is the god Moloch, folks. Okay, so anyone who sacrificed any of their children shall be put to death. Now, is that the soul? The souls shall be put to death. Okay, the members of the community. I want to expand a little bit on community. Look at the word community. If you add an E on the end, you have commune. Okay? If you take the TI off of the end and you add an IS, you have communism. Community. Okay? See, America has taught us that communism is a bad word. But the community is the strength, not the government. You see, as the government grows bigger and bigger, they destroy the community. If a community could take care of their own and deal with their own in-house garbage that's taken place, like if somebody raped another person's child, that person got the shit fucking beat out of them instead of thrown in protective custody at a jailhouse where you, the taxpayers, have to pay for the shit. You see what I say? You understand? The government's evil. So if we could just, beat the shit out of a rapist, then that would be okay with me. Don't kill him. God says not to kill. We can't kill, but beat the guy within an inch of his life sounds all right to me. A pedophile parent, a pedophile priest. Yeah. And everybody keeps saying on this plane of existence that you can't use these words, rapist and pedophile and all that. Fuck you. That's my freedom of speech. I'll stand by my freedom of speech, even though it's being blocked by YouTube. There's no question about it that it's being blocked. Yeah. The most confusing thing about the Bible is the minute Noah and them came off the ark, a command was given to him. And that command was, by hands that anyone's hands, shall their blood be shed. By man's hands their own blood shall be shed. So that command apparently was given to a Hebrew man. Okay? If Noah is the bloodline of life, and they were the last families to be saved on the face of the earth, and he's a child of God, then why is any of this taking place? Okay? I think what we're to do is you're supposed to just separate from the evil. This Bible says that the earth will be destroyed, but then it says that it's an everlasting covenant. How can there be an everlasting covenant with anybody on this plane of existence? What does that mean, an everlasting covenant? Right? We're talking spiritual now. For me, it sounds like God says one thing, and then he says another. The Hebrew man was told that they are not to kill another man, and they're the best people. The best of the best people got on the ark. These are the best of the best. This is a righteous family that came off of the ark. So isn't everything that would have been taught to anything born in this plane of existence from that point on been of a spiritual guided being, people who did good, people who did nothing but righteous in God's eyes? So if these 8 members on the ark did nothing but righteousness in God's eyes, then how did the world get so filled with depravity? So moving on, the members of the community are to stone him and put him to death. Well, to be honest with you, I totally agree with that. I think that whoever threw that thing on the fire, I think who handed the child, the parents that handed the child, the person who took the child, that placed the child on the fire, the priest that fucking prayed over it, and every other member of that congregation that sat out there and watched that take place, all are the seed of Satan and the devil. You understand that? And this is why they should have all been stoned to death. The whole damn community should have been stoned to death. Anybody out there standing there watching that shit and fucking raising their hands to that shit should have been stoned to death. I myself will set my face against him and will cut him off from his people. For by sacrificing his children to Moloch, he has defiled my sanctuary and profaned my holy name. So, now, the definition for the Lord is self-existing and eternal. Okay? So we really don't know the Lord's name. It's mostly titles. See, I wouldn't know which Hebrew is correct if one's calling God Yahweh, the other one's Yah, and the other one's Yahweh. You have three different names. That's a trinity within itself. So this is why I go straight to the Spirit, not the Spirit of truth, not just any spirit, man. I'm telling you, you have to go to the Spirit of truth. The only way the scales come off is from the truth. You have to walk in the truth in order to see the lie. I see the lies today. It's just, wow, it's so disgusting. I get sick when I see it. I get so angry. I'm so freaking mad. You don't understand how incredibly mad I am today at people. Because, and then everybody's walking around saying love unconditionally. You can't walk by somebody down the street, man, without them turning their face downcast to you or looking at you like you just fucking tried to grab their ass or something. And that's real talk. This phone, man, these computer laptops and the television and the media and everything are destroying our freaking kids, man. I'm telling you, all this shit needs to be taken out of the homes, man. Or it's only what all the garbage that they shove down our throats should be removed, and we should start teaching people the scriptures, people that understand the scriptures and what are being said in the scriptures and can break down a parable for you and tell you what it is that's being said. If the members of the community close their eyes, as I just said, when that man sacrifices one of his children to Moloch, and if they fell to put him to death, I myself will set my face against him and his family, and will be cut them and his family, and will cut them off from their people, together with all who follow him in prostituting themselves to Moloch. And that's what I just said. Imagine that. Everybody out there, man, should be destroyed. This is why you don't go into these pagan holidays, this pagan worship. I will set my face against anyone who turns to mediums and spiritists to prostitute themselves by following them, and I will cut them off from their people. Okay? So, what have I taught everybody here, man? Well, what's a medium? Huh? An intermedium is an intermediate, a medium. Okay, a commonplace, ordinary, the run-of-the-mill, tolerable. Mediums. But the Spirit, man, he's saying something else, isn't he? Because when I hear the word medium, I think of a divider on the highway. I think of palm reader, somebody who practices magic, things like that. This is what I see as mediums. You're not to practice these things. You're not to practice this at all. Okay, when the Spirit, the Supreme Spirit, says in the Bible, you're not to consort with the dead, they're talking about these people here, man. People that read palms. They call themselves psychics. Okay, this is what the Spirit is saying that you're not to engage in. You're not supposed to practice in this kind of behavior. Here are additional pictures to spiritists. So the Spirit of truth, the living God, is telling you you're not to consort with the dead. Well, who's the dead? All these people here that sit around the tables and do these seances. They try talking to the dead. They're talking about these people. They're talking about the ones that are sitting around the table. Don't consort with these people here that sit around the table and do this kind of stuff. Don't consort with these kinds of people here that practice this kind of Satanist stuff. And another question to always ask yourself too is, why does Hollywood always associate a cross with whore? Why? Consecrate yourselves and be holy, because I am the Lord your God. So this would imply that there is a God for one race of people and that there is a God for another race of people. And if you look at the definitions of these two gods right here, the Lord is self-existing and eternal. God is Elohim, and he is something that is used of the supreme creator. Here, let me show you. Here at Bible Hub, punishment for disobedience. Consecrate yourselves, therefore, and be holy, because I am the Lord. This is the self-existing. This is the God of Israel. Okay? They call him Jehovah, which is Yehovah, which is the national name of God. For all those at the United Nations, they're the ones that call. Remember now, we moved into a one world order. The one world order is the worship of Satan, who is, what are the nations all worshiping? You're all worshiping Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. You're all a bunch of Satan worshipers, man, is what you are. So this Lord here is self-existing, eternal, okay? And I'm kind of shying away from calling him even the Lord. He's just, the Spirit of truth is the living presence of all things. That's how I try to speak about the Spirit of truth today. I don't, all the titles and everything that's been given to this, to the gods of this plane of existence, and the names to the gods of this existence do not mean a thing to me. And then you got to ask yourself, why is there two different names? One is Yahweh, and this is specifically for another race of people. That's those that are in the province of Jerusalem today, man. They're Khazar Nazi Jews is what they are. They're fake Jews. They're Russian Jews. The dialect of their language is not the true Hebrew language, man. The true Hebrew language is probably hidden and tucked away, but it's been removed. You can bet on that. Maybe with tribes and stuff out in the wilderness that don't depend on anything of mankind, they're just away from them all. Their connection with the Most High is, I'm sure, a very intimate, kind, warm natured. It's all about, it's survival, but they're more close to life than any of us. Okay. That's something else you got to ask yourself about Christians too. They tell you that anybody that doesn't know Jesus Christ is condemned. Isn't that a nutbag thing to say? Seriously, think about that. So what am I showing you here? That the Lord is self-existing. God is Elohim. And this one here, it's Elohim. Okay, plural. And we got an Elohika. We got Elohim. We got Elohim. We got Eloah here. They're all gods in the ordinary sense. Ordinary gods. Ordinary gods, but specifically used. So all this God here is used of the supreme creator, the Spirit of truth. This God here is used from the supreme Spirit of truth. God on this plane of existence, Elohim, is a dog spelt backwards. I worship the Spirit. That's what we're told to worship. So that's what I worship. I worship the Spirit of truth. No one will ever derail me from that. Spirit of truth and the Spirit of truth only. Okay? Build the Lord came down to, that's something else I was reading earlier. Wrong Leviticus, wrong chapter. Okay. Keep my decrees and follow them. I am the Lord who makes you holy. Anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. Now, just look at what I'm saying. This is the Supreme Spirit that's supposed to be talking to the children of Israel. And he's saying, keep my decrees and follow them. And I am the Lord who makes you holy. This Lord is supposed to be making the children, his children, holy. So if this Lord is making his children so holy, why are the children of God, this Lord, the supreme creator, who's going to make you holy, are you still walking against him? Huh? Why? Somebody explain to me why you're so cursed, because you're walking contrary to his commands. Anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. Well, surely by this here, I should be put to death. The creator, this Lord here is gonna put me to death because I've cursed my father. No, what I've cursed is the evil in my father. I don't curse the flesh suit. I curse the demon, the spirit that's inside of the flesh suit. I understand today that we are spiritual beings. There's a parable that says that what God has made straight, who can make crooked? So God created things that are crooked. Okay, so if I know I have a crooked parent, then we need to correct. It doesn't matter who it is. We must correct what is wrong, man. Okay, anyone who curses their parent. If I found out that my father was a rapist, and God's showing me my father's life, and he's laid down with all these little kids, and he chained somebody up to a fucking cellar and did god awful things or anything like that, I'd shit my pants, man. You see what I'm saying? So, but not that my dad's done anything like that. I'm just saying that my dad's got an evil spirit on him. So I curse that evil spirit. So I'm hoping I'm not going to be put to death because I'm cursing his spirit. I'm not cursing his flesh. His flesh is just going to go into the ground and die anyways. Because they have cursed their father or mother, their blood will be on their head. Well, it's pretty tough, you know. I'm going to have to pay for this, folks. If I'm incorrect for this and it's saying that I'm going to be put to death, then there is no salvation for me. So in this case here, the only thing that I feel that I could find salvation from is John 5:20, man. That says a sinner who turns a man who turns a sinner from his errors shall save that man's soul from death and remove a multitude of his own sin. So if this curse here that I've cursed my father, I don't know that I so much have ever cursed my mother, though I'm pretty hot at her because of the truth that I've learned. I tried sharing this information with my mother. My whole family's turned against me, and that's what it is to be in the light, is to know that there's so much, when you're in sin, that you're in darkness. Darkness is ignorance, and ignorance is death. I just putting all the words together for you, man. That's what the Bible tells us. That's the short version. So it's not looking too good for me on that end. Will be put on their head. But I do repent and I do ask for forgiveness. The thing is I take care of my dad. You know, he doesn't have a nurse taking care of him or anyone beating on him. You know, when I get angry with him, I just take his remote control from him and turn the TV off. That's what I do as discipline for my dad. And believe me, man, that kills him. He's begging me in hours for that remote control. Why do you think they call a remote control? Because they are controlling you remotely from the TV channel, and they're evil and shit on you through the TV. That's what it all means. It's programming. That's why it's called programming. Okay, if the man commits adultery with another man's wife, with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress are to be put to death. Now that, to me, sounds fair. So then why is it that in Islamic states that a male adulterer isn't put to death, but a female adulteress is? If a man has sexual relations with his father's wife, he has dishonored his father. Both the man and the woman are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their hands. So if you lay down with your mother, now what is this, a step parent as well? Is this for any kind of parent? I'm so deep in sin, you know. Oh dear goodness gracious, man. I've done some shitty, rotten things, man. My stepmother was fine. She was gorgeous. My dad's probably third wife or so. And my dad used to beat the shit out of her. I mean, he was a mean son of a bitch to her, and he beat her up one night, and then he threw me out of the house, and I left, and I came back a couple years later, and then him and his wife had been getting divorced. Well, I can say that. I did lay down with Judy, my stepmother, years later. probably about 3 years after the divorce. Actually, I was trying to get it for a long time, but she wouldn't let it until the divorce was final. So I don't know. I'm just telling you. I know I'm in a world of shit when I stand before God. When my life's played back before me, you see, I see now. When I look, I'm like, wow, this is pretty bad news for me, folks. If a man has sexual relations with his daughter-in-law, both them are to be put to death. What they have done is perversion. Their blood will be their own heads. Wow, and if you're being judged for that, look at you. This is why the Bible says only a remnant are going to get in. You know, I don't see myself, making it into the kingdom of heaven, but at least today I'm trying. I'm very humble, and I see my shame. I try to share as much as I can about my personal life to wake other people's up, other Gentiles up, because if you're not walking with the Spirit on you, then you are the spirit of the dead. Okay, there was a race of people that was created on the sixth day of creation. You got to understand that. Okay, so they'll be put to death. If a man has sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman, both them have done what is detestable. They are to be put to death. Their blood will be their own head. So there's death. There's death. There's death. If a man marries both a woman and her mother, it is wicked. Both he and they must be burned in the fire, so no wickedness will be among you. So, I mean, shit, and this is why they ain't reading the Bible. Nobody wants to listen to these rules, these laws right here, man. And it all makes sense to me when the scales are off your eyes. It makes sense to me when scales are on your eyes. You're a bully against all this stuff like, oh, I'll do it my way, man. You're basically flipping your fingers off to the Most High and telling him you'll do things your own way. Okay, if a man has sexual relations with an animal, he is to be put to death, and you must kill the animal. And folks, they're doing this in chambers. You understand? People do this stuff in chambers. They have animals crossbreeding with other animals and stuff, and doing hideous, horrifying, terrible things with humans in chambers and stuff. You know how they can get you? These evil bastards, how they can get you? They can put out an ad in the advertisement and say, earn X amount of dollars each week. And then you reply to the ad, no experience needed. You reply to the ad, and then you reply to something that is a medical group or something. So they give one part of the group a drug, and they give another part of the group a placebo pill. And they see which ones will get sick and all that. So you take these pills, you sign the piece of paper. Well, you take the pill, and all of a sudden you get kidney disease or some bullshit like that. It's on you. You screwed up, man. Okay? You shouldn't be trying to make money by using your body as a guinea pig. If a woman approaches an animal to have sexual relations with it, kill both the woman and the animal. They are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their own head. I wonder if anybody, I know nobody's sitting here listening to this. They fled a long, long time ago, man. They fled a long time ago. If a man marries his sister, the daughter of either his father or his mother, and they have sexual relations, it is a disgrace. They are to be publicly removed from their people. He has dishonored his sister and will be held responsible. If a man has sexual relations with a woman during her monthly period, he has exposed the source of her flow, and she has also uncovered it. Both of them are to be cut off from their people. So this is some serious stuff. We're talking about who's the Lord here that we're talking about. Who's the Lord that's given all these commands? This Lord is Yahweh. Okay? So, I'm not the creator. I know that there's a spiritual creator, and that the spiritual creator created both good and evil, somewhere down the line, you must understand that something was permitted to create a host system. Okay, Akhenaten, and the hymn to the Aten, Atum, Adam, Aten, Adam. Look, these are a bunch of eggheads. I'm sure that they could have done a much better job with the head here. Now, supposedly we have skulls all around the world like this. Okay? This is the beast, folks. This is Revelations 13:15. The second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast. Okay, a second beast. Okay? The spirit, the supreme spirit, I'm saying could have possibly, how do I say this? Allowed, okay, the spirit allowed something that he created evil, an entity, something that is separate of the supreme truth. Okay, the truth created the lie. Without, it's like, it's a paradox. You can't have one without the other. The lie makes the truth. If you take either one of those out of the equation, then you can't have duality in the world. And this is how we are taught. It's truly, it's mind-blowing once you come into this reality. So this is what they're talking about. These beings, whatever they are, okay, were given power, the conscience that's covered by darkness. This here sun, this is a reptile. If you look at it real close, that's a serpent right there. He wears around his neck, their headbands, they got serpents. This is showing you that this is the serpent race, okay? And it was the serpent race here, the second beast was permitted to breathe into the image of the first beast so that the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship it to be killed. So what is it that's created in an image? It's that man on the sixth day of creation in Genesis 1:25, 26, and 27. Okay, Leviticus 20. Oops, sorry, folks. Give me 1 second. I'm all over the place. Do not have sexual relations with the sister of either your mother or father, for that would dishonor a close relative. Both of you would be held responsible. Tell me, with all this going on today, do you think that this is occurring in the households and stuff? What if, there's a lot of killing going on in the streets and stuff. God says that you're to be put to death if you behave in any of this stuff. So what if some kid was just walking down the street that just got done having relations with his sister, right? And it says that you're to be dishonest, both will be held responsible. But in these others here, that you're to be put to death, right? All of this, you lay down with it, death. Death. Laying down with the man as you lay down with the woman is death. So this is all death. Anybody in this plane of existence that's engaging in this behavior, I don't know if you can be saved. But what I would tell you is repent to the supreme truth. Turn back to the truth. Didn't they show you in Star Wars that Darth Vader turned back to the truth? I think we all have a chance to turn back to the truth at a certain time of our life. I think all can possibly be forgiven except one fatality that will never be forgiven, and that would be the worship of other gods or placing gods beside God. 20. If a man has sexual relations with his aunt, he has dishonored his uncle. They will be held responsible. They will die childless. Wow. Wow, so that could be a heavy curse why why a lot of women can't get pregnant. Imagine that, why you're barren and stuff. You ever think of that? I never even, see, I've been reading the Bible for a while, but I haven't read the whole Bible. Like, I was Christian and I was reading what other people reading the scriptures, which means that I was only being read a particular part of the Bible. I was being taught a particular doctrination. And then I found the truth through another man, Wrapped the News. I learned the truth through him, and now I've been reading the Bible alone by myself for a couple years now and really studying the parables, and I just see some really questionable things here about the God of this realm. I'm not talking about the spirit of truth, folks, okay? I'm talking about gods of this realm. Anything to me that is flesh is not the supreme creator, okay? Now, you got an energy force that is good, and you've got an energy force that is bad. You got to understand that both of these forces are used in correlation with one another to create the fabric of good and evil weaved within one another. Okay. If a man marries his brother's wife, it is an act of impurity. He has dishonored his brother. They will be childless. Keep all my decrees and laws and follow them, so that the land where I am bringing you to live may not vomit you out. Well, because it seems like the Lord, before I even read any farther, I don't know, but I'm guessing that he's going to bring them into a land that is filled with vomit and evil and nasty. And that's something else that I don't ever understand is why does the Spirit, this God, keep bringing his own children into the land of Canaan? And why does he keep intermixing them himself? He's the one that's bringing them into these areas. You must not live according to the customs of the nations I am going to drive out before you. Because they did all these things, I abhor them. But I said to you, you will possess their land, and I will give it to you as an inheritance, a land flowing with milk and honey. Well, America is known as the land flowing with milk and honey, folks. I am the Lord your God, who has blessed you apart from the nations. So we pop back up here to 22, though. Keep my decrees and laws and follow them, so that the land where I am bringing you will not vomit you out. You must not live according to the customs of the nations. I am going to drive out before you the nations that the Spirit of God, the God of this plane of existence, is going to drive out. What are the nations? The nations are the United Nations. They're the beast nations. They're the nations that were created in Genesis 1:25 when God creates the beast of the field, each according to their kinds. I am the Lord your God, who has set you apart from the nations. You must therefore make a distinction between clean and unclean animals, and between unclean and clean birds. Do not defile yourselves by any animal or bird or anything that moves along the ground. Those that I have set apart as unclean for you, you are to be holy to me, because I, the Lord, the self-existing eternal Spirit of truth, am holy. WHOLLY. And I have set you apart, his children, the Hebrew, the Yeshuelite, the Israelite, the Jacob, the bloodline of Jacob's, apart from the nations to be my own. So this Lord here is claiming that there is a race of people that he is setting apart from his own, which means that all the nations that sit at the United Nations are nothing. They don't mean anything to this Lord. They don't mean anything to this God, the United Nations. Well, why would then I have to ask myself, if this Lord you'd say, well, why would he create the evil? Because he is trying to teach you with it. God is both good and evil. If you are shitty, he's going to kill you. It's that simple. It's that simple, man. It's that black and white. Don't go into another man's house and rob his dope and shoot him and kill everybody in it and take his money. Because if you do that, somebody's going to come into your house and rob your home and shoot you and take your money. It's a cycle. In fact, how would you like to be rebirthed into something like that over and over, continually being killed, the same life over and over? I think Tom Cruise did a movie like that he kept getting killed and playing through the thing. I haven't seen it. Should probably watch that one. A man or woman who is a medium or spiritist among you must be put to death. So this is some serious shit, man. God ain't playing with sorcerers. You are to stone them. Their blood will be on their own heads. So everybody that's playing with these cards and shit, man, this is it. Oh, we are thick in the shit, man. People that are just tattooing sleeves down their arms, all over their bodies. I mean, plugging their faces with these huge piercings and stuff, these ears and stuff, wearing Jesus Christ shirts and stuff. That's a straight mocking right in your face, don't you think? I think it's a straight mocking. Here, check this out.
There's all these Christians, right? And they're pissed because they're like, well, I've been, and they do it in my face, like, well, I know.
Sorry, guys, I accidentally touched the button there, man. Let me get this started again for you.
There's all these Christians, right? And they're pissed because they're like, well, I've been, and they do it in my face, like, well, I know the Bible, I know this, I know that. I'm like, okay, cool. Why are you mad at me? I thought we were all on the same team, Jesus. Yeah. What the heck are you doing? Why are you trying to diffuse my flame? Yeah. Why aren't you fanning my flame? I mean, holy fire, come on, dude. And then you got the Christians that look at me and they're like, why? Wait, is this a joke? I'm not clowning. And then they go, well, why are you all on fire? I'm all, it's God. Don't you believe in God? And they go, well, there's no way. And then they get the messages, and they look at me straight in the face, and they go, and we'll see about it in 6 months. Yeah, you're Christian, and you're looking at me, and you're telling me, why are you encouraging me? Yeah. What's the matter with you?
So, guys, come on, man. Okay, these people are nutty. They're nutty as hell, man. You got to snap out of this walking daze that you're all in, man. I'm talking to you Christians. Okay, you guys, aren't you Christians? You're on this guy's team right here. This is your supporter. I know you guys like to say that people like this are mocking Jesus. They're not mocking Jesus, man. They're mocking you because this is their God. You get that? This is his God. He knows that Jesus is a fruitcake. Jesus, when you're baptized in the water with Jesus, 6:3, you're baptized into Jesus' death. So, anyways, folks, man, that's Leviticus chapter 20. I hope you enjoyed it. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, the Spirit that moves all things in place. There is none like the truth. Nothing more fun than walking in the truth, because when you walk in the truth, it's so easy to see the lie. This is White Raptor News Ministries.